Test.
Stop testing me! I'm not testable! How dare. I'm not testable. No. No. Nah. Bruh. Alright, here we go, guys. I'm so large and in charge. Alright, here we go. Shit, the angel. A third right now.
What? What is this? It's so dark. I can't see. I can't move. This is strange. There is pain. There are voices calling my name. Voices that are chanting my name. Why? What is this? Has the Emperor decreed another triumph? Has the Legion returned to Ulanor? So strange. Wait, that can't be right. Why can't I see? And why can't I move my limbs? Why am I in pain? This is... No. Go away. I want to go back to sleep. Stop calling to me. Stop repeating my name over and over as if I need constant reminding. I'm not that old. I can still remember my own damn name.
Okay.
So cease with your infernal dronings. I want to go back to sleep.
Same.
Be silent, all of you.
No.
Leave me alone. I am tired. I am going to go back to sleep.
Alrighty then.
Oh, you bastards! You whoresons! That hurt. How dare you? How dare you treat me in such an irreverent manner? Have you no respect at all? Just because I've been interred does not mean I will allow you to. Finally, I can see. Optic feeds are online. Good. Now then. Brother Tech Marine, get up off your knees and report. I ought to trample what remains of your flesh into the dust for this insult. But I will stay my wrath if war is at hand. Is there war, brother? Has the time come for me to stride into battle once more? Do hordes of base traitors dare to threaten the Emperor's realm? Is Terra again under siege? I swear I will destroy them all. Yes, I will rip their treasonous hearts from their chest. I will tear open their throats and drain their veins dry.
It's kind of bad now.
Tell me this is why you forced me so cruelly from my sleep. It has been so long since I last dealt out death and judgment upon the foes of mankind. Too long, brother. Tell me war is at hand. Tell me I've been awakened so that I might wield bolter and blade in the vanguard of our father's blood-red host, as I once did in millennium past. Oh, why can't I move? Why haven't my weapon systems been activated yet?
So is this him, like, dead or something? And he doesn't realize it yet?
Grok's done. How can I fight in this state? Is there war, brother? Is there a reason why you have... Oh, wait. Wait. Let me think. Wait. I'm starting to remember now.
I'm dead.
Yes. Forgive me a moment's confusion, venerable master of the forge. I should know better than to order you or your brethren about.
Wait, did they make him a dreadnought? Oh, this is not Sanguinius, okay.
I mean no
Oh, is this like a dreadnought that served with Sanguinius?
Respect towards your rank. Just give this warrior some time to marshal his thoughts, will you? Yes. I recall now the cause for my previous awakenings, and what bitterness fills my hearts. You have not disturbed my sacred slumber due to the necessities of war. Not for me are the hideous shrieks of unclean Xenos as they writhe upon the talons of my power claw. Not for me are the despairing curses of vile traitors as they are crushed and broken beneath my righteous tread. No, not for ancient Archelos is the glory of the slaughter or the catharsis of the kill. I'm far too invaluable to be risked upon the field. I'm now a living relic, doomed to gather dust in a secret stasis vault deep beneath the foundations of the Arx Angelicum, condemned to the dreamless sleep of ages, while the blood angels of Baal take our father's wrath to the stars, forgotten save only by a select few. Why must I persist in this wretched isolation after all those whom I fought and bled alongside have passed on into history and legend?
No!
This is no life, brother. No life at all.
So, someone's woken him up, and he's going to, like, talk about Sanguinius?
Yes. Yeah.
He's like the not the last one that knows about him or something? Like, was working, like, was with Sanguinius when they died or something?
Oh, spare me that tedious, time-worn lecture. I know that I've been afforded the highest possible honor. I know why my continued survival is so vital to the well-being of the chapter. Others have told me this, time and again. But such knowledge does nothing to alleviate my grief or my rage. My younger dreadnought brethren are awoken for war when the need is dire, yet I alone am denied a place in the order of battle. The last time I saw action was when I lost my temper and kicked your predecessor's predecessor across the room for aggravating me. That ought to tell you something. Yes, I'm well aware I am rambling. But why not? It's one of the few things I can... What? Oh. The chapter master himself craves an audience. Truly? Well, you didn't say so before, you pathetic excuse of a... Yes, I know I've been rambling, what of it? You deny me battle. You deny me blood. You deny me a second warrior's death. I would crush you if I could. Gah! Begone! Go!
Get up, him.
Send in the chapter master. He probably just wants me to advise him on some complex strategy or another. That's all they ever desire of ancient Archelos now. I'm far too important to be allowed to do anything else. Oh, Father, this is all so wearisome. I should have died fighting on the walls of the Imperial Palace like all those worthy legionaries of old. This is no life. No true life at all. Emperor, forgive me. I want to go back to sleep. Ah, Chapter Master, you've come at last. No. Stop. You have no reason to kneel before me. You are still my liege, regardless of the great gulf of time that lies between us. It is I who should be kneeling, but I can't move anything. Those thrice damned tech priests refuse to complete my sarcophagus's awakening rites. Forgive me, my lord, but I do not recall your name. So many chapter masters have come and gone since Rauderon's time, and their names have all blurred together in my memory. Perhaps if you removed that golden death mask obscuring your face, I might be able to... Ah, that's better. I remember you now. Yes, you are Lord Commander Dante. You first came to me not long after your inauguration, as is tradition, when the secret of my existence was revealed to you. I see the passing years haven't been kind to you, brother. You look tired, if I may say so. Well, I suppose you've come all the way down here for a bit of sound tactical advice from an old veteran, eh? Either some monumental campaign is at hand, or else a catastrophic disaster has befallen the chapter, and you desire my opinion on the matter. So be it. What troubles you, Lord Dante? Even in death I still serve. How might...
I like the idea of, like, talking about Sanguinius from the eyes of someone that was there with them. As like a, this is now, that was in the past kind of thing. Like, it's the same, like, interesting concept as, like, if you talk to a war veteran.
Ancient Archelos aid you? A story? You want me to tell you a story? A story about Sanguinius when he walked amongst his sons in the flesh as I once did. I was not expecting such a request. Your predecessors never asked me for accounts of the 30th millennium, and I always assumed it was because their hearts could not bear the burden of such tales, or that my recollections would only serve to intensify their grief, and further inflame their rage. Yet, I will indulge you, Lord Dante, for I sense the weight of our father's legacy lies heavily upon your shoulders, and in your face I can detect an echo of his spirit and nobility. You are strong-willed enough, I deem, to be entrusted with a first-hand account of Sanguinius, though I must choose what to tell you with care. For the inescapable horror of his death has far eclipsed the deeds of his life, and those deeds were many and glorious. Ah, I know. I will speak of an earlier time during the Great Crusade, far removed from the black spectre of heresy and betrayal that still torments us even to this day. A time when the Emperor himself led the legions across the stars and the sons of his Primarchs numbered in their hundreds of thousands. And a time when the Blood Angels went by a far less noble and exalted name. I remember it all clearly, for I was there, Lord Dante. Over 10,000 Terran years ago upon Tagar Pentorus. Yes, I was there, the day the angel descended.
That's a pretty badass, like,
Next.
introduction. That's a pretty badass introduction. Blah, blah.
It is the 30th millennium.
Okay.
So far above and yet so human stands the Primarchs. Crafted from the Emperor's own genetic material, they have been spread across the galaxy, scattered by the forces of chaos, knowingly
I
or
love that he uses a claymore and a spear together.
unknowingly awaiting the arrival of their father, the Emperor of mankind, Sanguinius, Perturabo, Corvus Corax. How did they meet the Emperor? Sanguinius had never seen a spaceship before, not outside the fractal impressions of them that had sailed in his waking dreams. This one, sitting on the desert plain with its golden armor, baking in the sun, had suggestions of vulturousness. It was a thing of power and efficiency, blunt and brutal. Fire made it fly, not any notion of grace. Figures clustered around the craft's landing legs, where the ship's great metal claws gripped the radiation-soaked dust of the wasteland. These men and women were plated in the same gold as the ship, rendered upon their bodies with painstaking artistry. My father's guardians, Sanguinius thought, and what a thought it was. Not only that a being such as his father required guardians, but that he had a father at all. All the years of wondering at his own heritage, devoid of insight into his origins, And here at last was the truth. Standing in the shadow of a vessel from the void, he leaned into the desert wind, stretching his muscles and rising on a thermal of bitter breeze. The temptation was there, like it always was. To soar, to break free of the ground and its responsibilities, taking to the sky and seeking distant lands, where the secrets of old wars lay buried. Today that urge was both stronger and weaker. His heart was ill at ease with what this meeting would mean, but nevertheless, he burned to know what lay ahead. He arced groundward, landing lightly with a scuff of his boots across the earth and a final furling of his wings. Dust swirled around his shins as he stepped forward. The golden figures carried weapons, a panoply of axes and spears, and hard-caliber firearms. Sanguinius carried only his sword, undrawn, riding low on his hip. "Welcome to Balfora, Outlanders." He spoke Enochian, the tongue of his people, the pure. He wondered if the Outlanders would understand him, or whether they would be forced to rely on hand gestures and awkward mimicry. "My son," said one of the Golden Ones, somehow speaking it silently. He felt his father's voice for the first time as one of his own thoughts, a sensation rather than speech, backed by a tremendous feeling of suppressed force. The Golden Man, if he was a man, that sent the contact seemed to be making significant efforts to restrain himself, or to contain the power within himself. There was more there, though. My son rhymed with my weapon, and rhymed with my ninth, and rhymed with other concepts that Sanguinius couldn't parse from the core of the man's meaning. A lifetime of perspective was bound up in that contact, and Sanguinius sensed only the gulf between his father's silent words and the meaning behind them. But he felt no threat in the touch of mind upon mind, confidence, impatience, love, caution, approximations of those where words couldn't quite convey the actuality. It was all there.
I've thought about this before though, but like he basically created all these people basically to be the perfect soldiers and stuff. I think that's part of the reason why he doesn't. He expects way more of them. Like maybe I'm looking too far into it, but like it's like he expects way more of them than like some of them are willing to accept. Like it's Corvus and stuff. Like he left them to their fates and stuff because he expected them to rise above that and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like that maybe that's it.
The man, and he did seem like a man, dark of skin and hair, smelling of metal and sweat, in possession of a heartbeat, walked closer. "I am the Emperor," the man said, as he stepped out from the spacecraft's shadow. "And I am your father." "Father," the man had said, the word rhyming in silence with master, with shaper.
But like, didn't they explain that basically he made them to be pillars, like pillars of mankind and stuff? He made them flawed, but he made them like in every other way as perfect as possible. To not only be like a pillar of like war, but also like able to handle anything.
With Creator, Sanguinius met the Emperor's eyes. What he saw there, glinting in the light of his father's gaze, was the answer to the question he had never even considered.
Argel?
This being, this Emperor, was human, but he was not exactly a man. "I see the light of many souls in your eyes, many men, many women," the Emperor smiled. "Is that what you see?" He spoke flawless Anakinaian, but that perfection was itself a flaw. He spoke the tongue with the same dialect and inflection as Sanguinius himself. Either the Emperor was pulling the meaning from the angel's mind, or imprinting meaning upon it. Whichever was true, he wasn't really speaking the language at all, nor was Sanguinius entirely certain he could see the man's mouth move. "I have sought you for many years," said the Emperor, and behind those words, Sanguinius sensed the cheering of crowds and the burning of worlds. His blood ran cold in the desert heat. "I've seen shades of this meeting many times in my dreams," Sanguinius confessed. A heavier gust blew from the east. He instinctively lifted a wing to shield himself from the gritty air. The Emperor's eyes followed the movement. He began to circle Sanguinius in a slow walk, one gauntleted hand reaching out, fingertips running down the angel's feathers. Sanguinius's pale gaze tracked his circling farther, but his wings rippled with discomfort each time the Emperor moved behind him, out of sight. "You are uneasy," said the Emperor. "That is natural, my son. I have come not only to liberate you from exile, but to ease your heart and mind with all you need to know." Sanguinius felt a lifetime of questions trapped on his tongue. There was one, however, that was always going to break free first. One question above all that plagued him and haunted his people. Since the tribe of pure blood had discovered him in the wild lands, they worshipped him for his strength and beneficence, but they feared him for the question that now lay unspoken between father and son. "Ask," said the Emperor. "Ask the question I sense lying upon your tongue." The angel pulled back from his father, not furling his wings but spreading them. With sudden passion he beat a fist against the animal hide on his breastplate. A lone feather, swan white, drifted in an arcing dance down to the dusty earth. "What am I?" "You are my son," said the Emperor. And again, meanings and concepts danced beneath those words. "You are my son" was overlaid by "you are a Primarch," and "you are my 9th general," and "you are a component of a great work," and "you were stolen by the enemy," and most unsettling of all, "you may have been changed by them." "I do not know what you mean." "You will," the Emperor assured him. "You are the death of faith," Sanguinius replied. "That I know." The Emperor regarded him before speaking. "Yes," his father agreed. "And also no." "How do you know of such things?" "I told you. I have dreamed of this day. Fragments, shadows, suggestions. Sometimes they come to me. Fears with emotion, yet rate clean of detail. Faith is a weapon," said the Emperor. "A weapon that the species cannot be trusted to wield." "My people revere me as their god," Sanguinius replied. "That brings them a measure of peace. No doubt to you and your sky-sailing kind, we are nothing but primitives, roaches in this poisoned desert. But I reward their faith in me. I am their servant. I am mercy when my people need it most, and I am death to their enemies. That does not make you a god, my son. I never said I was a god. I said my people believe me to be one." Sanguinius stared into his father.
I like how he says that. He's like, "I never said I was a god. I said my people believed in me."
Father's inhuman, too human eyes. "My people, the pure, are to be left in peace. Whatever pact you and I swear this day, my inviolate condition is this: no ship will enter Balfora's heavens without my mandate, and no interference will be permitted to the clans of the pure blood without my permission. We have carved out the solace of peace here, together. You will not threaten it, father." The Emperor nodded, not in agreement, but in sudden understanding. "That is why you fear me, is it not? You fear the endangerment of what you have achieved here. I speak of loyalty and love," the angel said gently. "And you speak of achievement. Am I wrong?" asked the Emperor. "I fear for the lives of my people, who deserve only peace. A peace we have fought so hard for. Behind your words, I hear the triumph of cultures that see you as their savior, but I also hear the razing of cities and the burning of worlds. I hear the dirges of faith now forbidden, and the mourning of those nations that followed them. Am I wrong? The Emperor said nothing. Later, many times over the decades to come, Sanguinius would think back on those words. For all the purity of the Emperor's intent, there were so many compromises. Faith could not be tolerated, except for when it could. Religions were drowned in the ashes of defiant worlds. Sanguinius asked then what no other Primarch had given voice to. Even Angron, upon his discovery, would act without asking the question Sanguinius asked now. What if I refuse? The Emperor seemed to weigh this. You will not refuse. I know your soul. Here you saved tens of thousands of lives. With me, you will save billions of lives on millions of worlds. You will save the lives of every human yet to be born. And that is not something you could turn your back on. They stared into each other's eyes.
That is kind of like the reason why I don't think the Emperor could be entirely... I don't think... Of all the characters in this story, besides Sanguinius and Salamander Boy, Cutie, I think the Emperor's the other most good character. Yeah, Vulcan. I call him Salamander Boy. He's a good boy. I think the Emperor is also the most good, because at the end of the day, he wants humanity to live. He wants them to be there, you know? It's good. How are you doing?
And son, creator and created. Neither argued against the truth of the Emperor's words. I want something from you. I want your oath. The Emperor was silent, allowing his son to continue. Do you swear, on whatever oaths you hold value to you, that you will leave the clans of the purebloods in peace, untouched by your designs unless they desire otherwise, free to exist as they already exist, believing whatever they choose to believe? The Emperor hesitated. Sanguinius saw the calculation in his father's eyes, and he wondered, is he taken aback by the love I bear for my people, or is he merely considering alternate avenues around this obstacle in his great work? The Emperor finally spoke. You have my promise. Sanguinius closed his wings. Then let us speak of the future, Father. And so they did.
That makes me like Sanguinius a lot. Basically, he's so far the only one I know of that said, this is required. I will help you, but this is required. He's like, I will defend this place that I call home.
This is such a fantastic scene as, after finally so long, Sanguinius has so many answers. He
I love his voice,
has dealt with this secret shame that when the Emperor or whatever creator was out there, they would see his wings, they would think something was wrong with him, like he was mutated in some way. And to know that he has this acceptance by the Emperor means so much to him. He also fears immensely for his people, the people who have saved him, the people who took him in when he was so young. And he has endured so much on this hellscape of Baal. And he understands that when the Emperor comes, it is a critical moment. There's only a before and after for this very grandiose entrance, because the Emperor has designs on the galaxy, and he fears that in the name of a compliance, in the name of conformity to this greater whole of this Imperium, the people of Baal would suffer immensely. But in a way, it is a dream. It is a unification of the entire species of mankind with terror at its heart, all led by this master of mankind, the Emperor. The gift of foresight possessed by both of these immensely powerful humans and men means that they both knew this was coming, but yet Sanguinius almost seems to realize that this is not a momentous and joyous occasion. This is a negotiation, and it's a moment of a great weight and a great responsibility placed upon his shoulders, because he's no longer, after this, the protector of just Baal. He is going to be the protector of the Imperium and the protector of humanity. The Emperor comes and he's assessing him, looking to see if he, Sanguinius, is worthy to join his side.
Uh-oh.
Light
Lovely
spill
Corvus.
from within. Guns.
I will say this.
Look, it's a dragon runt.
I'm gonna stab you, Shadow. But, so far, like, if anyone's wondering, Corvus is definitely my least liked. Good boy? Well, not good boy. He's a traitor. Forgot. I would say he's my least liked bad boy, and most liked good boy so far is still Vulcan. Gilliam's a close second. For those of you who are wondering why we're going to these multiple different videos, my editor crafted as good as they could make it react of Sanguinius, the character.
Do you know the story of Sanguinius?
I do love to have learned that
Also, you meant to say Quartz was your least liked, not Corvus.
hers, yeah. What did I say? I said Corvus? That sounds like me. I probably did. Like I was saying, one of the things I love to have learned about Sanguinius is he is definitely one of the more thoughtful, and he understands the weight of a lot of things. He knows that it's not all perfect and good. Makes him like him a lot.
Master of the 9th Legion, the great angel, the father of the legendary blood angels Astartes, the hero of the Great Crusade, loved by all in the Imperium. It began centuries ago, on our lonely planet of Baal Secundus. Baal was once a beautiful world.
Oh no, who destroyed Baal?
Long gone is that memory.
Who the frick's?
Our ancestors destroyed our
They destroyed their own planet?
planet. Civil wars ruined our once great world. The land scorched to ash. A barren wasteland of its former self. The survivors formed their small tribes, enduring the hardships of the land. We were once a nomadic tribe, roaming from place to place, struggling to survive in the harsh landscape. Our tribe was known as the folk of the pure blood. One day, the miracle was discovered. Our ancestors in the tribe found a child, a being of perfection, sprouting wings from its back. The wings of an angel. A gift.
I love the implication that humanity believes in angels no matter, like, how far into the future and, like, no matter how many worlds there are.
From the God Emperor, or a curse from the war. Not all saw the child's purity. Kill the mutant, they would say. Burn it before it grows. Still divided, our people allowed the being to live, growing under the watch of our tribe. He continued to grow. Within a few weeks' time, He had
I love that they like imply that he's like master of so many weapons.
crushed a fire scorpion with only his bare hands. Within a year, the child had become a man, spawning into adulthood.
That's the other thing. He made them grow up so fast that I think some of them. I'll have to seek Horace's to really decide if that's what I'm thinking.
The miracles continued. The angel could walk through the irradiated wasteland, traveling through Ball Secundus without protection of a suit, shielded from the curses and sickness of mortal flesh. The tribe accepted him as their prophet, leading the folk of the pure blood on a pilgrimage across the wasteland. He was our leader now. He loved our people. During the crossing of the wasteland, the tribe was attacked. A band of feral mutants ambushed our people, slaughtering many within the clan. The angel changed that day. For the brutal attack on our tribe, the angel became rage. Wrath enveloped him. It is said the nimbus of light glowed brightly above the angel as he cut through the mutants. The blood rage overtook his soul. Over 100 mutants were butchered by his hands alone. The red thirst poured over him. Our tribe praised the angel, grateful for his protection and blessings. They had received a gift from the god emperor, a warrior of their own volition. The offensive was launched, eviscerating all mutants within the wasteland, purging all those that stood against the tribe. The angel became the supreme ruler of all Baal, ruler of the blood, worshipped as a god. Time passed, and the story spread. The ears on Holy Terra heard the stories. Now the angel was praised as a god. The god emperor laid his eyes on Baal.
Here's my question: are these stories traveling? I thought this planet was. I guess this planet does have space travel. I would assume so. If like these stories are like traveling. One of the interesting things about the story so far is, what I could tell, Sanguinius is really the only one that's ever truly like treated as a god, but doesn't even like acknowledge that fact. He doesn't even. He apparently takes no like authority or overconfidence or any like negative like aspects from that. He continues to be himself.
As he was on his conquest,
All he really adds is the responsibility to protect them, and that's all he takes on.
to find his wayward sons. The god emperor's arrival within the conclave of blood. The mighty theater carved into Mount Seraph. As
Is it
the
Seraph or is it Seraph?
thousands watched, our ancestor was there that very day, witnessing the greatest beings ever created, meeting for the first time. The people of Ball had never...
Is it correct then? I can't remember if I heard this before or not, but Sanguinius is the closest to being the same as the Emperor of Mankind, right?
seen such
In terms of like how great he was and stuff.
benevolence. The might of his glory could be felt by all. The gold armor pierced through the darkness. The tribe knelt before his glory. The angel spoke, a speech of pure beauty and power, giving hope and purpose to the people of Baal. As he spoke, the angel...
I think the hilarious thing is, I love the idea that and all the Sanguinius ones, they keep just posting lots of, like, I'm sure some of these are actual pictures of Sanguinius, but a lot of these are just pictures of angels with warrior stuff.
His wings spread wide. He lifted into the air, towering over the crowd, letting out a roar that could be felt through the very core of the planet. As he gracefully fell back to the ground, he landed in front of the God Emperor. The angel knelt without hesitation. It was now known. He was no longer the angel, a leader of Baal. He was Sanguinius, son of the God Emperor. The prophecies were true. Sanguinius was blessed with many gifts. One was the foresight, the reminiscence into the future. For he knew this day would come.
I feel like the ones that unless I'm wrong about this, all the ones that look good in the future, they were all messed by Siege, right?
He knew he was the son of the God Emperor. The Emperor was pleased with his son, pleased with the society he had forged. Sanguinius stood for the might of the Imperium. He embodied the guiding light of humanity. Joining with his father, Sanguinius built his legion, taking the strongest warriors of Baal, converting the mortals to Astartes. The 9th Legion was born. At its helm, Sanguinius led the newly formed Legion, the Blood Angels.
It's interesting to see that, unless they haven't shown it yet, did any of the other Blood Angels have wings? Or did they all just get the blood rage thing?
Cloaked in gold
And
armor,
the need of blood.
an ornate heart of red blazed on his chest, symbolizing the passion and devotion to the Imperium. Above the heart lied 4 red rubies, each filled with the drops of blood from his legion, each representing the 4 worlds which the Legion draws its recruits. Terra, the birthplace of the Legion. Baal Secundus, Baal Prime, and the planet of Baal itself. Joining the other Primarchs, the other sons
So this is what he actually looks like, right? Supposedly?
of the Emperor, he gained favor amongst them all. but no bond as strong as that with Horus. The two brothers became close allies and friends. They formed a bond of trust and loyalty. Brothers until the end. Sanguinius was beloved by his people, by the people of the Imperium, by his brother Primarchs, and by his father. Sanguinius was the embodiment of the Emperor's greatness. The great crusade begun. The Blood Angels became the personal honor guard of the Emperor. His friend and brother Horus was granted the title of War Master. The great angel embodied what the Imperium was fated to be. Beyond a warrior on the battlefield, Sanguinius was gifted with wisdom, making him a profound leader for humanity. Sanguinius always stayed true to the God Emperor. There was a kindred spirit between them, sharing the goal of peaceful and united humanity. As the crusade continued its reach into the stars, the Emperor gave his orders to Horus, for he was to oversee the purge of the non-believers. To understand Horus, you must understand Sanguinius, for they shared the strongest bond of any Primarchs. So many war campaigns shared. Both legions fought alongside each other, destroying the enemy within their reach. The first betrayal was set forth. Horus witnessed the unthinkable. And Astartes of the Blood Angels murdered one of his men. That Blood Angel became a beast, a monster that lurked in nightmares, an uncontrollable tyrant that drank the blood of its victims. Horus saw the Blood Angel thirsting on the slain Astartes. Sanguinius was told of this heresy. He personally slayed the Blood Angel that lost his control.
See, I don't even think that's a traitorous thing. Sanguinius went out of his way and killed him himself. This could be, like, how is that a betrayal? That's one Astartes that went crazy. And you're gonna call that a betrayal?
This would not be the last of the
Like, obviously, blood rage is a problem.
Others in the Blood Angel Legion had succumbed to the curse. Fear took Sanguinius. If the God Emperor had discovered this curse, he and his legion would be banished or executed.
I doubt it.
Horus kept his secret for a time. The crusade continued.
I think the reason Horus kept it is because Sanguinius himself would go out of his way to fix it. Like, it was clear that this wasn't something he was proud of and he was trying to fix.
Rumor began to spread throughout the Imperium. The unthinkable.
But I still don't understand, like, how you would say it's a betrayal.
The Emperor's own son, the War Master, had fallen to chaos. The bond between the brothers was shattered. Horus was no longer the Primarch that he once knew. The ruinous powers of chaos had deceived his mind, granting him powers in exchange for betrayal.
You know how my brain like forgets his name at this current moment, but he's making my brain's like dying. Henry Cavill, that's right. I don't know how my brain forgets some of these people's names. But Henry Cavill, if and when he ever makes like Horus into his show, I think we all know which actor needs to play them. But he looks like this.
Horus tried to use the Blood Angel's curse against them. His knowledge of the bloodlust would assist in corrupting the minds of the Blood Angel Legion. Horus knew he could not fight the Blood Angels. He did all in his power to convert them to the evil. The Sigmas campaign begun. The war with the demons. The Sigmas cluster was sent by Horus, a demon-infested empire sent to destroy or convert the Blood Angel legions. Upon reaching the demons in battle, a psychic onslaught obliterated the first of the Blood Angel legions. At the time, this was a new enemy. A Xeno that was not yet cataloged or understood. The reality was much worse. Visions plagued the Blood Angels, showing red death and visions of what was to come. The Legion made its way to Cygnus Prime, the throne.
I'll say this about the Warhammer YouTube creators, the lore ones at least, they really do a good job of theatricizing it, making it. It's hard to just pause and say something about it because you're like, oh.
Psychic energy spewed from the fallen Blood Angels. So many brothers cut from life. His brothers. His legion. Something within Sanguinius broke free. The pure hatred and anger erupted from his soul. Sanguinius erupted a cry of war that rippled out to all on the planet itself. The first of the Black Rage. The Blood Angels lost their control. They became berserkers without mercy. The Legion was sent into a mad fury, ripping, gouging, tearing their way through the demonic plague, ripping through their own brothers if in the way. The immense force of psychic energy left Sanguinius in a coma. A great psychic used his power to pull Sanguinius back to sanity. Sanguinius rose, fighting the Kabanda and the demon legions with all his strength, urging them back to the Immaterium. The Legion, although victorious, was torn. They all knew they were cursed. The Black Rage would return again. The demons all desired the purity of Sanguinius. They beckoned for him to join the forces of chaos. The angel led his legion as they destroyed more of the demon horde. The blood angels were led to the cathedral of the mark. Within the cathedral lied the keeper of secrets. The demon of Slanesh, Kyrus the perverse. The demon offered Sanguinius a cure. Sacrificed himself to the Chaos Gods, volunteering his life to the Rage Fire. In return, the Blood Angels would be cured of their curse. The angel had to make a decision. The needs of his legion over his own life. With his sacrifice, his sons could be cured.
I bet you Sanguinius saw straight through that. Because it's never just, oh, you can cure them all. There's always a hidden caveat.
Before making the sacrifice, Blood Angel Apothecary Meros, the beloved warrior of the Ninth Legion, sacrificed himself on the Rage Fire, converting his body and mind into the Red Angel. Sanguinius became enraged, slaying Meros without hesitation. The angel swore his vengeance. He was betrayed by his brother. Horus would pay his debt with his life. Shortly after the Sigmus campaign had ended, the Primarch, Rogeldorn, sent a distress message to Sanguinius to return to Holy...
Which apparently a lot of people don't care if he returns, which is weird. Like, you'd think you'd want, like, the wall, from what I understand, of the Imperium to be back. Like, someone that was known as, like, basically, like the Vulcans, like, super defensive, super...
Terra with his legion. As the blood...
But then I guess you would also really want the ones that could actually, like, not only defend, but also press forward.
Blood angels tried to lead the Sigmus cluster. The Emperor's light was gone. The Astronomicon could not be found. Only a dim signal could be located. They locked onto Macragge. The warp storm, unlike anything seen before, erupted. The galaxy was torn in half. Macab had created a beacon using banned alien technology, the Pharaohs, allowing the Blood Angels to arrive through the warp. Upon arrival, the angel met with Robert Gollman and the Lion, explaining to
I love that every single, like, horror person says Gilliman's name different.
Sanguinius the entirety of Horus's betrayal.
Gilliman, Gorilla Man.
The scope of madness that enslaved the galaxy. The God Emperor might already be dead. Reminiscence returned to Sanguinius. He saw his fate at the hand of his own brother Horus, not knowing the true impact of what was to come. Upon the planet of Macragge, another Primarch lay in hiding. The traitor, Conrad Kurz. He too shared the premonitions that plagued Sanguinius. Conrad Kurz emerged from hiding to speak with the angel. asking him why he would remain loyal to his father, seeing the fate that was laid before him. Sanguinius was pure of heart, pure of spirits. He would never betray the Emperor. Sanguinius tried to bring the corrupted Primarch back. It was not too late for him to return to the Emperor's light. Curse rejected his offer. Curse saw a dark future. Chaos had enveloped the galaxy. Every living being would fall to corruption in time. Curse was captured and put to trial, banished from the Imperium, under the imprisonment of the Lion. Another premonition washed over Sanguinius. His destiny was set to go to the planet where the corruption of Horus had started. Davin, the temple of the Serpent Sun. Within the temple, they saw the altar of sin, where the tainted ritual of chaos first corrupted the War Master Horus. The psychic energy of that temple ruptured a warp storm. Another premonition. Sanguinius saw himself next to his father, being granted as the Emperor's regent. Visions of chaos destroyed throughout the galaxy. Sanguinius saw himself become the ruler of the universe. The deception was not enough. The great angel saw through the lies, striking through the false images, revealing the demon, Mateo. Hordes of demons rushed through the warp storm. Mateo and Sanguinius dueled. The Lion and Gilliman fighting waves of the demon army. An endless siege of chaos enveloping the Primarchs. Sanguinius fought boldly with Mateo, beating the monster to an edge of its life. Mateo pleaded with the great angel, revealing that the demon gods did not favor Horus. They favored Sanguinius. Mateo offered to have Horus executed, allowing Sanguinius to become the War Master of Chaos, curing his brethren of the Black Race.
I love how it seems like all of the sons that are like that they truly like go for, they're always like, we favor you. They're like treating them all like they're the ones they want.
Standing over the great demon, Sanguinius plunged his weapon into Mateo's chest. The temple collapsed as the demon was purged. A breach in the warp storm suddenly appeared. A path through the warp led directly to Holy Terra. The Siege of Terra. Horus had besieged the Imperium. The Blood Angels arrived to defend the faith. They were met with relentless opposition. Sanguinius fought with his brothers for months. The roaring battles continued on.
I bet a lot of people, from what I understand of Warhammer fans and stuff, would love to play a game where you got to fight in the actual Horus Heresy.
Sanguinius inspired the loyal legions. His speeches and vision in battle
you
could
said 30
change
minutes.
the tide of war. He fought onward with his brothers. The traitor legions had gained the upper hand. Horus's invasion was brutal, swift and without mercy. The throne was surrounded by the corrupted legions.
Alright. And this is the last one we'll do for today, guys.
Sanguinius's words carried across the kilometers of elevated war, brought to distant ears on the clicking, ticking, crackling speakers of servo skulls and Mechanicus drones. Soldiers clustered around their data slates to bear witness to the Primarchs' proclamation. The hundreds of thousands of defenders of the Delphic battlement, drawn from all across the burning Imperium, listened to the words of the great angel. All of them could see him, even if they were far from his sight, and forced to rely on a hololithic reflection. All of them could hear him, even if his words purred through the crackling mouth of a floating probe. Land had expected a speech, dripping with demagogic inspiration. He'd find it tawdry, but he knew most of the human defenders, many of whom responded far more positively to the Primarchs than the Mechanicus did. But that was not what he, nor any of them, received.
I do not want to be here. I do not want this present, and I want this future that follows even less. We stand against our own brothers and sisters with our backs to the Eternity Gate, and this is not a battle we can win. If you have ever wondered how you will die, now you know. If you have ever wondered where your body will lie, now you know. You will be killed on the last wall between hope and horror. Your body will lie here, unburied, staring up at a poisoned sky. Once the sanctum falls, terror falls with it. And I tell you, we cannot hold this wall. You can see it yourselves. They are too many. We are too few. We may last a week, if we do the impossible. More likely we will all be dead in 3 days. Perhaps my words surprise you, or frighten you, but I will not lie. Not to you. Not to you who have come through 200 days of dread only to find yourselves here. I have looked into your faces and seen what this war has cost all of you. I have followed the flow of battles that each of you have survived to stand here on the final battlement. I see everything you have endured, those stories written in the light of your eyes. Now the War Master offers you a lie of life, promising a mercy his forces are incapable of showing if we abandon this last war. And it falls to me, here and now, to tell you to stand against him one more time, to give everything you have, even your lives, if it will hold this rampart for another day, another hour, another second. This is what the moment demands of me, is it not? That I beg you to make one last sacrifice.
Sanguinius swooped closer to the battlement, casting his sword to the stone. It clattered there, in a loose cluster of blood angels, none of whom made an attempt to pick it up. Lan stared at it for a long moment, then watched as the Primarch whirled in the sky to face the wall once more, showing his bare hands to the gathered thousands.
No.
Sanguinius fairly breathed the word. His wings beat hard, holding him aloft. He stared into the silence that met his disavowal, and he shook his head to punctuate the syllable with adamance.
No, I will not ask it of you. You have already given everything.
Everything.
You've already done everything asked of you 100 times and more. You have suffered through a war of unimaginable darkness. One that has demanded more from you than any soldier in the history of our species has been forced to give. The fact you still live, that you still fight, I cannot conceive of the courage and resilience it requires for you to face this dawn and look to the horizon with a rifle in your hands.
Land could hear army soldiers shuffling. He saw them glancing at each other. None of them spoke. All of them held rapt to the Primarch's words.
Where Horus has offered you only lies, I will offer you truth. Those of you that wish to run, run. Leave this place, not in shame at a duty undone, not in surrender to the traitor's forces, but with honor. Go with my gratitude, for you have already given everything asked of you. What right do I, does anyone, have to demand more? From you, who have endured harrowing beyond account, horror
I gotta say, Sanguinius is definitely the person you call to inspire your troops.
beyond measure. If you wish to fall back into the Sanctum Imperialis and spend the last hours of life with your children, then do so. Know that you go not only with my blessing, but with my envy. If you wish to leave the wall and take your chances in the wasteland before the battle begins, then, in the Emperor's name, you have earned the right to try. Go swiftly and carry with you the pride that you have already given a hero's share in a war that none of us wanted, but were forced to fight. And if you wish for the truth, I will give it to you gladly, for you have earned that too. It shames me to admit, but I would abandon this wall if I could. The Primarch in me, the supposed demigod half of my heart, craves life with a ferocity that shames me. If I bowed to that instinct, I would take to the sky and never look back. But I cannot. I am half human, and the human in me demands that I stay. There are legends about me. I hear them whispered among you every day, that I know the moment of my own death. The stories say this gives me courage, that I feel no fear because I know I cannot yet be slain. Here is the truth of that tale. That prophesied death is coming. Today, tonight, tomorrow, I know not the when or the how, only that I feel fate's breath on the back of my neck. I do not remain here out of immortality's courage. I remain here because if I am to die, I choose this death. I choose to die with my back to the last door. I choose to give my life to buy another hour or a minute or even a single second of grace to those who cannot be here fighting with me. I choose to die here because I do not believe that I have yet given all I can. Someone must stand and fight. And if I have but one choice left, I will make it now. I will stand. I will fight. I will hold this wall knowing that the 13th Legion makes for terror with all speed. And if they cannot bring salvation, they will bring retribution. Whether I am alone or whether 100,000 of you are by my side. When the War Master's horde descends upon this wall, they will find me waiting for them with a blade in hand. Not because I can win, but because it is right. I do not know what delusion grips those out there who were once our brothers and our sisters, but I know it is right to oppose them.
Silence drifted over the Delphic battlements, but only for a moment. Sanguinius swept his arm across the wall, taking in the defenders. Thousands of hollow ghosts of his image did the very same thing.
I have spoken enough. You need hear no more of my fears and confessions. All that remains is for me to ask, will you run?
That's definitely a good speech. Like, I don't think there's much else you could have said to the people that were facing that. So far, I have to say, holy crap. From what I gather of Sanguinius is he is a very upright character, where Gilliman is justice and, what's the other word? Well, basically just justice. Sanguinius is definitely loyalty and, like, purity. He won't lie at the end and tell them that they can still win.